Alright, here we go, folks. We're gonna try this napping video one more time. I moved up in here in the woods, try to get some trees around me, surrounding me to block that wind out there. So anyway, the stone I got here is a spall of novaculite, and we're gonna do a little video on taking this piece down. And I'm gonna start with my magic, and I do mean magic, marker. And I'm going to look straight down on this piece and draw on my center line. I don't normally do this when I'm flint napping, just to be napping, but since I'm doing a video, I will put it on here for your reference watching the video. And right, back connected. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is on this piece, as you see here, we got a big flat square edge. Over here we got a angled edge, but we got a crack running right up there. And it doesn't look like it comes through on the back side, but it looks deeper, like folded layer maybe. But we'll find out when we start napping in that area. And this side you had a big spall removed out that left like a big flat area here and then a sharp steep ridge right here. So we got a few things we got to deal with. This edge here is too thin, this blade edge, so we're going to trim that back probably to about right there just to thicken it up some. And so anyway, let's see, if you want, this will help you too. You can take and draw on your center line half the distance from edge to edge, and you can draw, this comes in handy especially with Clovis's, you can draw your guesstimated center line from top to bottom. And what this will do is give you a visual reference point to drive your flakes so that you wind up with convexity this way, and if doing Clovis fluting, convexity this way. And so anyway, I'm going to put the marker up, grab a tool, and start working on this critter. So I think what we'll do first is go ahead and trim this thin edge off. So I'm going to hold it kind of steep and just basically break that edge off. A little bit more. I guess that line pretty close because I'm having to trim that all the way back to it to get my edge thick enough. Alright, that ought to be good enough where we can get something on there. Then I'll take my hammerstone, knock the loose stuff off of that edge, and then I'm going to flip it over and just brush the edge with my hammerstone the other way, and you see it's taking some short flakes off just by brushing it. And that's just to get the platform line back where I want it on the piece. Alright, and got one more up here. This is all just preparation stuff, just setting up the edge for platforms later down the line. Now I got my platform, or my edge line. See if we can see our center line here, and I put that blade edge right at center line. And so now I'll come over here, and the first thing I'm going to attack, and I'll do it while I got the hammerstone out, is this area right here. I got that ridge right here, so I'm going to Set my platform up right there. Already got a platform. I will take and rub it back a little bit, grind it a little bit, and there we go. And I'll lay that flake back in there, and you can see the reason I said I have a truly magic marker is because if you look, you see where I drew the flake I anticipated on taking. And if I take that flake out, you see it followed right along those lines. So wherever you draw your lines, that's where your flake will go. Just kidding, it don't work that way, but looks good anyway. And so anyway, we took out that high spot, and now I believe I will come back right here where we got that crack going in there and trim this up a little bit to see what is in there. And I'm going to switch to the antler billet to do this. I just want to see how bad it actually is. And that'll tell me more about what I need to do to fix it. Well, it don't look so bad so far. And I set up a nice platform by taking those flakes. So I'm going to take one. I got a little hinge right here and a little bit of a ridge, so I'm going to take a flake right here and take most of that off. Got to hit it though, and there it goes. Took off that, and so now we'll come back over here, and we got this square edge I was talking about, our flat edge. So what I'm going to do, a lot of people would take a flake, take a flake, take a flake, to Z the edge. I'm not going to do that. Maybe in some of it, but most of it I'm not going to do that way. First thing I'm going to do is let's see, this whole burr here, I'm just going to tilt it steep and break it off. We are here to break rocks, so don't worry about it if it breaks, because that's what we're trying to do, break it. Now what I did was get my marker back out here. I broke that burr off the end, and what that did was set me up a platform right here. So I'm going to strike that platform in line with this ridge and take off as much of this as I can from this end, and then I'll set up and go back the other way from the other end, and that will take some of that corner ridge off. I'm going to hold it up kind of steep because I want to drive this flake. Oh, I didn't quite hit it like I wanted to. I got some of it. I'll see if I can go beside it. Yeah, a little bit more. All right, so like I said, take as much as I can going this way. And now we will need to trim this a little. All right, those burrs on your whitetail tines, they work good for edging. Knock a bunch of loose crap off and trim things up. So now I still got all this big flat here, and it's really thick. I don't have a good platform at all. Use this and trim that back weak stuff back off there a little bit. All right, so what I'm going to do, and this goes against most rules of flint knapping, instead of Zing this edge back and forth, flake, 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 I'm going to set up a platform. And if you pay attention, see this line here, there's my center line that I drew in the beginning. I'm going to put a platform up here on this flat, which is above my center line, which is something you should never ever do. So anyway, I like doing what I'm told not to do, so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to strike this thing on that platform above center line, and I'm going to go to my little bit larger billet here. But what I'm going to do when I strike that above center line is I'm going to tilt my piece down. So then I change my angle, and you visually can't see it, but by changing my angle, I'm going to make this platform above center line act like it's below center line. And instead of hitting in or straight down, I'm going to be swinging away, kind of a swiping blow. And I'll show you that now. There we go. And now we can see if we can get it sit back in there the way it came out. I'll figure out. There we go. All right, there's our big flat thick spot right there. And by hitting above center line with a swiping away motion and holding it a little steep, I got this nice, let me turn around this way where it showed better. Got this nice flake to come off. It took out all that big, high-rise, thick, and chunky square edge. I'll put it back in there again, and you can still see my lines. There's my center line. There's my platform. Platform on a square edge, swiping away, short, steep flake. Took that big square out. So now we'll take and move on to the next one. We still got some flat here. And I'm going to do the exact same thing all over again. Platform above the center line, and fat, thick square edge. And see if I can grab another one and do the same thing all over again. Yep, the flake flew, but there you go. And I'm going to keep on down and just take that all off just like that. There's the last one. No more flat edge, and we can, let me get one more right here. I say I will. Gotta hit it. Yeah, that's good. All right, now I'll take and trim this down. I'm gonna go back to my smaller billet. Trim this down a little bit, holding it steep, because I want short flakes, just to bring my edge up some. Because doing that, pulling flakes like that to get rid of that square edge, it will take and roll your edge to one side a little bit. Alright, so now we've gotten rid of all that. I just set up my platform to take flakes here, and I'm going to take my hammer stone and rough it up just a little, not a lot. With the antler, you want it not strong, but not too strong. And let's go back with this one here. Well, the trees ain't saving us too much, so that was the wind blowing the damn camera over again. It just won't quit. I don't know where it came from, but I wish it'd go back there and stay. Alright, we're gonna keep trying. So anyway, we were doing good, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, boom. And I'd rather get struck by lightning than be in a gusty hurricane gale force wind. I know that's crazy, but lightning hurts less and is less irritating. Only hurts for a second. So anyway, back to the knapping. I set that platform up here, right here. It's on center line, but just a smidgen below it. This is our platform side. This is our flake removal side. So here we go. Let's see if I can hold those together. So I wanted to show you. You remember what I said about drawing this center line on here and this one here? Well, if you look at where my flakes terminated, just a little, there's the line, and it went just a little beyond. And that's what we want. So now I'll take the smaller billet, and you'll see me switch sizes back and forth depending on what I'm trying to do. Get one there. See, that one went just to the line. And you know, it depends a lot on what type of points you're trying to make. Like if I was trying to make a Dalton, that has a little bit thicker cross section, so you would actually want those flakes to stop at your mid-width line so that you build that nice medium ridge that most of the Daltons have. Get one here. There's that one. And this one set up a ridge here, and I already got a platform, so I'll take that one. Gotta hit it. There we go. Alright, so that got rid of most of our bad stuff on this rock right there in just that little bit of process. And as you see, it's got a little high here, a little low here, and all that'll come in here shortly. So now we got all this flat on this side. That's from the initial spall removal off the bigger rock. So we're just gonna trim this up. I know this is seeming backwards if you've done knapping and understand the platforms, but I'm gonna wanna remove flakes from this side, so typically you would set your platform up, trim it to bring your edge this way. My edge is rolled, so I'm bringing it up this way. Hold a little steep, because I can even do it with this. Like I say, them bumps on that antler kind of do a nice job like a shearing tool almost. As you can see, it's pulling flakes pretty quick. And a little more right here. Alright. So now, I'll flip it and take my hammerstone and braid it back the other way. Grind it. And then I'm going to take a series of flakes down this edge here. And this side, this face here is flat. So say the first flake is going to be right here. And because this is flat, those flakes are going to want to spread in a circle. And then I'll do the next one. I'll have to set up a little better platform, but right here, and that's going to want to spread in a circle. So we'll go here and mark my platforms on this side, and I gotta adjust this platform, but anyway, we'll mark it anyway. So this one back here is good, so I'm gonna go on and take that flake. Let's see what happens here. Well, I say I'm gonna take it. There we go. Man, I lost most of the flake. Some of it fell in my lap here. It actually looks like it might be, yeah. So it didn't go far, but you can see how it tried to spread. And I'll tell you, we'll go right here instead of over here next, since this one didn't spread as far. Try to blend them. There we go. And you know, this is all preliminary work. Some of it, if you see where my finger is right under the edge, if you have it there, you get support, and as long as nothing, the rest of your finger isn't touching, your flake will travel. I'm pinching a little bit because I don't want it to go too far. I'm trying to keep it on that center line or mid line of the width. So as you see, that went there, that went there. So we'll go down here, get another one right there, and one back here. Okay, and now we'll take our antler, do like we did before, trim it back. All this is doing is just, it's like shearing with a copper tool or whatever you use. Some people use copper, some use other things. But anyway, then we'll take a series back on this face the other way. And I want this one to travel a little bit, hopefully, so I'm going to actually not have my finger under the edge here. I'm going to have it back here. So I'm going to pinch way back here where I want the flake to stop. And come up a little short, but almost there. That one's a little better. All right. And now we'll address this problem area right here. A little too far. Drive this one on an oblique from the corner. There we go. That came all the way in from there. And we'll come right next to it. And do another one on a little bit. And just this side. It's getting pretty bi-face down now where it ain't a lot of targeted plate removals anymore. It's just more dressing and shaping now. So I'm going to be speeding up and just taking these things at random here. Well, it may look random to you, but it won't be random to me. How about that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so that looks good there. Dress up over here. And then we'll braid it a little bit. And we'll take some back from this face to clean things up a little bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, missed that one. Scared to hit it. As you see, we're starting to come into shape too. I haven't done a lot up here on the tip because it's not really needed a whole lot. It'll kind of come into shape as we're working this down, finishing it up. So now I'm gonna go back here, and for this I'm gonna press it in my leg because I need some support to take a couple flakes off the back end here. There we go. And let's see. So now we'll come back right here. Take a couple of flakes. These here I'm taking are small flakes. They're just dressing and purdying it up some. And they're bringing the tip in too. Alright, as you can see, our midline is still one dot there. It's almost gone, almost all cleaned off. I got to come right here. Trim these back. Alright, and then we'll dress that up. Sound like it went. There it goes. Didn't want to give up. And let's see, here we got a little spot right here. And now we're about to the point. You can see it's getting there pretty thin. Where I'll switch tools and go to a antler tine and a leather pad and do some pressure flaking. I gotta find my antler tine and my pad. They're in the rubble somewhere, Barney. There's the leather. And there's the antler tine. Alright. And let's switch up and put some glasses on where I can see them smaller platforms a little better. So I'm going to start with just kind of dressing the edge up, pushing some deltas off. This is more for aesthetics, as they say. It's cleaning up the edge. Some of these flakes will be, I'll push bigger, and some I'll leave small. I know you probably can't see a whole lot what I'm doing, but I don't know that I could get it where you could. All right. I don't know if you can see this, but see how I have my antler tine curved? Well, holding it here with my arm locking it here and it up here, I get when I lean, the beam being on my leg here acts like a fulcrum, if you will. So it's applying, see how the tip moves when I lean with it? It's applying that pressure. Flip it and get the deltas the other way. Now, I'm not sure that there's any right or wrong way to do this. Well, I reckon there is a wrong, because if you do it wrong, a lot of times your point will break in half and you won't have nothing. So anyway, let's dress up this base down here some. something from the side here. It helped a little bit probably. One from this side too. There we go. It's not going to be very pretty like I want it to be. I got to do some more here. It's always that one spot that wants to give you a hard time, not cooperate. Tell you what, I'd be better off to take this small antler billet here. Just make my point a little bit narrower, but that's a flake that needs to come off there. And there it goes. That thing didn't want to give up with the pressure flaker, but it went with that, so. And now I will find, I got a smaller antler tine in here that I'll use to do a little bit of work here. And I'm going to take and set this base up. Sometimes I do this base first and then do the rest of the point later. Feel like something's crawling on the back of my neck there. Probably the wind blowing me a kiss. I ain't done this in a long time, but we're gonna give it a shot and see how it do. It'll either make it or it'll break it. One of the two. I'm sorry this setup's taking so long, but these particular pieces, doing what I'm getting ready to try to do, you need to spend a little time getting it as close to right like you want it. I'm isolating this platform. Oh, and I need to trim it up a little bit. Let's bring it in from each side to release it a little more, isolate it a little more. All right. Then we'll take and take our hammerstone and grind up just, oh, I didn't even tell you. I set up a fluted nipple. Let's see that. And I'm gonna try to shoot some flutes on this. All right. There's only one of two things that can happen here. It can either work or not. So I'm going to take and wrap this leather like this here, and then take my billet. You know what? I'll tell you what. Let me see something here. I think I got. Let's see what kind of punches I got here. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna do this flute with a punch using indirect percussion and this dogwood billet, little antler tine punch, instead of doing it the traditional way there. I'm going to put it on the outside of the leg here. Let's see if I can spin around a little bit. Get my stuff situated. I left my leg pads over at the campsite, so get my punch set up in there like I want it. Figure my angle. Not it. Alright, it didn't go as far as I would like. And it went up to there. That's still not bad. That's heck, maybe not quite, well, about 3/4 maybe. So that ain't too bad. I can live with that. And now I'll grab my handy dandy smaller time again, and I'll set it up back for the other face. See if we can get a better one that way. These antlers, my antlers slipping. I don't want to grab. I got to trim this up to bring the flake removal edge up the center line. Then I'll take a flake outward that way. Another one right beside that. One out that way and out that way. I'll dress those up. Alright. And then I'm going to come right up the middle of those and flip it. I'm going to do two inward towards my flute nipple. A couple of little release flakes. And I'll shorten my nipple just a little bit. Strengthen it up some. Alright. And I think the reason I didn't want to go into Owen is because I braided it too heavy to use that antler punch. So I'm going to braid this one a little bit lighter so it'll be a little sharper and that little punch can grab better. I got too much stuff here now. Alright. Ready for round number 2. Set it on the outside of our leg here. Get the punch set up. There we go. Now this one went about the same distance as the other one. It went up to there. Maybe actually this one went a little further. One on this side was to here. One on that side is to there. So anyway, we'll dress that up, clean it up, and eventually this thing will get down to a Clovis point. And I'm actually going to use my little punch tine or tine punch and my wood billet to clean this up and dress it up a little bit. And we'll start right here. You just want to set it a little bit on the edge and you're hitting it real light, really easy, because we're not trying to flake anymore, we're just dressing up, cleaning up. And we want these flakes steep and short. So you'll see the punch is stood up and it actually angle it. Let's see if I can get that in there. Actually angle it so it's going away from the edge, so your flakes will be short and steep. And like I say, it don't take much, just a light tap, and just go right on down the edge. So just keep right on down that edge like that. see you're getting off your shape or line, you know, go back and take a couple small ones. And I know you're wondering, when's that tip going to get pointy? It'll get pointy, trust me. It'll work in on its own as we go along, because we still got a lot of cleanup work to do. And doing so, it will clean itself up, or point itself up. And some of that's going to happen here in just a second. Yeah, I wish I'd have brought my leg pad over, but anyway, yeah, my glove will work just as good. This is my platform. There we go. Now I'll take my tine and use it to dress my edge a little bit, just to take a bigger flake back the other way, clean things up. Just knocking the loose stuff off. There we go. Get one more light one right up here at the tip. And we'll come here. Braid a little bit. There we go. Get one here. Perfect. One here. One there. One there. And as you see, it looks a little wonky now here at the tip. I'm wide here and straighter there. But I'm working this side in. As I go down, as you see, it's already narrowing up to here. As I punch these flakes down on that edge, it's going to come back into shape. And there, don't want to go. Crushing a little bit, so let me rake her back a little bit. Alright. And get right here. Yep. One. And I'll go back this way. A little soft spot right there. It goes. I got it off. That got it cleaned off there. And I know this is a boring part of the video because you can't see other than I'm using this punch and putting it on the edge and hitting flakes, but it's time consuming, but it does do a nice job and of shaping it up and cleaning it up, and also leaving a pretty sharp edge. hinge there that jacked up on me, but so I have to cheat it in a little bit more when I want to. Usually this will blow those hinges off. In this case with this one it did not. And so I'm having to cheat it in, cheat the edge in a little closer. And that's alright. Some of this loose stuff off there. That was a good flake. That's what you want to hear, a smack. Anyway, here's a rough Clovis point. I'd take my antler tine and touch up the symmetry and stuff, but here it is. Got your, I don't know how well to show it, but you got your little flute there, and this side we got one going in there too, and got your little convexity to your base. And I would, like say, I'll still take the pressure flaking antler tine and trim these edges up here and dress them up a little bit. And but there you go, from a rock to a Clovis. I wasn't intending on doing a Clovis, but the rock kind of was talking to me and saying that's the way it wanted to go. And I hadn't done one in a long time, so, and it shows, is I've done some a lot nicer ones than this. But using the tools you saw me use here, I got the bigger moose billet, the smaller whitetail billet, hammerstone, and the smaller deer tine flaker and the bigger deer tine flaker, and this punch, which is just a section of the deer tine, like right in there, and a dogwood billet for my striker for my punch. Oh, and I almost forgot the magic ink pen. And so anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and hope it gave you some pointers. Maybe I'd do something some way you don't do and you saw it and it works good for me, and maybe it'll work for you. And but as is, this could be put on a shaft, a attle spear, dart, whatever you want to call it, and make some meat. So I just happen to have an attle shaft over in the campsite, and I've been waiting to make the right point to go on it, and this might be it. All right, well, if got any questions or anything, man, shoot me a holler on Facebook or Messenger or wherever at, and if I can help you, I'll be glad to, with pointers on napping or whatever. I'm no expert at it. I've been practicing for a long time, a lot of years, but I'm still learning, still practicing, and I don't think it's anything you ever learn. Some people seem to master it. It still masters me on some days, but anyway, y'all have a great day, and peace out from the woods.